If you work for a painting company and you track past customer as a marketing lead source, you're doing it wrong. Now, if you disagree with me, stick around because I'm going to prove to you why it's not a lead source and how there's a better way to track that. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris. I am the owner of Boolean Automation. We are an automation consulting company that specializes in working with painting companies specifically. I honestly joke around with people that I meet that I believe this is the most niche YouTube channel that exists. I create videos daily on automating business practices, tips and tricks in your painting business that are going to save hours and hours of wasted time in your business. So if that's of interest, like and subscribe down below. This is a massively powerful video that I'm going to be showing you, and this is what I do. So if you've got other topics or you disagree with what I'm about to tell you, leave it in the comments down below. I'd love to pick up the conversation, but I'm very, very passionate about this topic and many other automating business practices specifically for painters. So if that's of interest, subscribe and let's get into this video. All right, so past customers. This is something that I have argued tooth and nail with countless painting owners, painting marketing managers. My previous boss, when I was the marketing director, this was something that I was adamant about. And I'm going to tell you why past customers is not a lead source. Okay. So the first thing is, before I get into this argument, I want to ask you, why are you tracking marketing sources at all? You should ask yourself that about any metric in your business. Why do you track close rate? Probably because you're trying to see how your sales team is doing, establish a benchmark and figure out which sales reps are doing better than others, which one need coaching. Like, the reason that we track any metric needs to have a reason why. And I would even say, to go a step further and say, what questions are you hoping you're going to be able to answer by tracking this metric? So for me, when I was the marketing director for a growing painting company, something that I always thought with all the marketing metrics that I had was, the reason I track anything in marketing is so when I need to get more leads, whether because we're scaling or because the seasonality is changing and we're in a lead shortage, I need to know where I can double down and spend more time, energy, human power, or money to generate more leads. So that's the first thing that I would say. If you disagree with me on that, then you can just switch and go to the next video. But that's a core principle that I think you have to agree with. And that is, why are you tracking marketing metrics at all? And my opinion is, so you know where to best allocate or optimize your marketing spend, your marketing manpower, your creative resources to generate more leads. So if we're in agreement on that, I want to go to the next point. Past customer as a lead source is not a lead source. So I'm going to prove this to you with a theoretical example. Let's think about this. When someone says, the reason I came back to you is because I'm a past customer, that's not true. If we use a hypothetical example here and say, let's say that I had my house painted by a company 4 years ago. The moment that painting business finished painting my house, I started thinking about other things. My life goes on. I'm bombarded with marketing messages every day. Nobody sits and thinks about a company that they did business with over and over and over again. You just don't do that. Why does Nike or any clothing company put their logo on their clothes? Because they want you to see that brand over and over. Every time I pick up that shirt, I see it. Every time I see other people walking around with Nike clothes, I see that. It's branding. There is power in branding and ongoing, just like subtly hitting your brain with all that. So that's the first thing, is that when you buy something or when you have a service from something, you don't just consistently think about that particular company. If you've ever wondered or thought about garage door companies, they always put a sticker above your garage door button, because every time you walk in, you see that. But more importantly, if something breaks, there's the number I need to call. And in the garage door company example, the reason that your past customers are calling you is not because they're past customers, it's because they have a sticker with your number on it. So I would say, if I was a garage door company, one of the lead sources would be, I called the number on the sticker you gave me. And that would be a great metric for your marketing team to remember. We should keep doing these stickers, or maybe we should make them cooler or give them out to more people or put them in more unique places or whatever it is. But maybe you should even put tracking numbers on each of those stickers and see which crew leaders are generating the most repeat business, because maybe they're putting them in different spots or whatever. But the point being is that customers don't just continue to think about businesses. You might be saying, well, we get people that say they call us all the time because they're past customers. Well, here's the proof that that's not how it works. If I had my house painted by a company and then the years go on and I don't see a single truck, I don't see a sign anywhere in my town, I drive around, I don't get an email from that company, I don't get a text from that company, no one ever follows up with me from that company, who in their right mind is just dwelling on that company? And I would even say, at the moment that I realize that I need my house painted again, and I go online and remember, oh, Brothers Painting painted my house a couple years ago, and I look them up online to give them a call. If I don't see their website, I'm not going to call that business again. Maybe if I go and they have a listing, but there's like 10 reviews and I worked with them 3 or 4 years ago, I'm not going to call that painting company again. I'm going to call the business that is at the top of the list. So the thing that is critical to remember is that past customer is a status of your customers. So when someone calls in, what I would recommend that you do, first of all, on your web forms, take away past customer as an option on why you reached out today. Don't let people choose that as a choice. If the reason is, oh, I'm a past customer, my follow-up question, if I'm a receptionist talking to someone and they say, hey, why'd you reach out today? I'm like, oh, you painted my house 4 years ago. That's awesome. We love working with past customers. By any chance, did you see any of our marketing, or have you seen our trucks? Have you gotten any emails from us or text messages from us in the past? And they say, oh yeah, I get your newsletter every month. The reason that past customer came back to you was because they're a subscriber on your email, not because they're a past customer. And the fact that you are having your receptionist or your customers directly input that they're a past customer into your database, you are shielding and preventing your marketing team from getting valuable data that they need to know where they should allocate more time. Because if the reason that past customers are coming back to you is because your email, you need your team to know that that's why, so that you continue investing time and energy into those emails. I want to pause first and say, if this is a value, please like and subscribe to the channel. These topics are what I love diving deep into. You can look at the other videos on our page. I spend hours every single week creating content that helps painting businesses grow and scale with less friction, because I believe in freeing up entrepreneurs and the employees of those painting companies to do what they love. Nobody loves entering data. Nobody loves the mind-numbing work and data processing in a business. You should let computers do that. And we're very good at helping painting companies automate their business practices. So please subscribe down below. Now we'll get back to this video. You may be on the fence. If you disagree with anything I'm saying, leave it in the comments. I want to engage in this discussion because I've got a lot more to say on this. But hopefully you're understanding that having past customer as a lead source, while I do agree it's very important to track that, you are giving your customers, it's like an easy out of the question that you really want, which is, what part of our marketing or our branding made you come back to us? And the reality is that it's probably more than one thing. So not only should you be asking them to fill out what were the reasons, but I would say, how many reasons were there? Was it because they see your van every week? Was it because you did another house in their neighborhood and they saw your yard sign? Was it because a sales rep called up to follow up on a warranty and say, hey, is there anything else we can do for you? Any of those reasons should be tracked, and they should be tracked as the marketing lead source. Past customer is a status. So my suggestion to companies is to have past customer or previous customer as a status on a given deal. So when a deal comes in, I assign a lead source, or better yet, multiple lead sources, because rarely is it one thing that gets someone to call, but multiple lead sources in the ideal world. And if you're wondering how do you do that, reach out. I'll probably make a separate video. I'd be happy to. If that's a value, leave it in the comments and say, yeah, show me how to track multiple marketing sources. I'd be happy to do that. But what you need to do is have previous customer be a status for every single deal. So the way that this works in a structural level is you have the customer, which has a source. How did the customer originally find us? The first deal is going to have the same source as that customer, but then ongoing deals with that customer is going to have a potentially the same or maybe a unique lead source in that deal. And then each sequential deal is going to have a status in the previous customer field that says, were they a customer or not? Now I'm going to take this a step further and say, my suggestion on that previous customer field is it's actually not a yes or a no. There's three choices. The first one is yes, they were a previous customer, which means we actually painted their house. The second choice is no, they're not a previous customer, but we have done bids with them. So you can call that no dash bid, but never won a deal, something like that. And then the third option is no, they're not a previous customer. We have no history of ever working or communicating with this person at all. And those three statuses provide really interesting data, because now you can take your lead sources and say, ooh, we had 30% of our leads from web search. And then you could drill down and say, of those 30%, let's say it's 100 deals, we had 10 of them or 20 of them that were previous customers. So now we know that our previous customers are looking us up online and they're coming to us because of our web presence, for example. The other one that you could have, if you think about this logically, it's like you've got emails or texting or all this other stuff that oftentimes gets overlooked, or I would say undervalued in painting companies, because no one's ever saying emails. Like, who gets your emails? 90% of your email list is probably past customers. And you're not asking them or verifying with them that these emails are actually serving them. And worse yet, when your marketing team looks at their source report, it says 3 leads from email for the whole quarter, when in reality, those previous customers, I bet you 20, 30, 40% of them actually are on your email list, and you've been keeping them top of mind for some time. So that is why I suggest not having previous customer as a lead source, because the reality is there's a much deeper reason why they reached out to you than just because they're a past customer. All right, so if you've watched this far, this is probably something that's of value to you and you're interested in optimizing your marketing spend or marketing resources. So I'm just showing this to you. There'll be a separate video where I explain the ultimate sales and marketing dashboard. And this is just running Google Sheets, so it's free to maintain and upkeep. If you drop your email down below, first of all, subscribe to the channel, that always helps, but drop your email in the link down below and I will send this to you, this template. This is something that I've spent over a dozen clients with, continuing optimizing and trying to improve this. And this is like hours and hours and hours of hard work to optimize this and get this just the way that it is. So if this is of value and marketing is something you're interested in, completely for free, just for signing up for our newsletter, I'm going to send this to you. So find that in the link below. And like I said at the beginning, if you are a painter, please subscribe, please share this channel. It helps get the word out. Boolean helps automate and streamline painting company businesses. Those are the only companies that we work with. We're very freaking good at it. We've got a team of developers to do custom integrations and API and get all of your apps talking to each other. And we also have courses, and then obviously this YouTube channel with tons of free content. If you're a painting company between 4 and 7 million in revenue or larger, reach out to us because we can probably help you. If you're below that, doesn't mean we can't help you. It just means that you're probably not at the size where an investment in working with us makes sense. But either way, I'm here to help. And for the companies that aren't at the size that, are usually the pain is great enough to justify an investment, I give away all this content for free. So if you're interested in a free consultation, I'll do that with anybody. I don't care what size you are. Try and help you and point you in the right direction. I really appreciate your attention and subscribing to this channel, and we'll see you in the next video.